Everyone is miserable and burnt out. Do not believe what you see on the internet. You may see someone on Instagram, you think their life is perfect, they got it all together, their life is so good, but why am I struggling? Why am I burnt out? Why am I working to death? But they don't got it together. They're just putting up a front. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're trying to make it seem like their life is going great during this hard time in this economy. But don't let that get to you. Stop comparing yourself to what you see on social media. Your path is different from what you see on social media. Do not compare yourself. Everybody's burnt out, man. We're all working so hard just to survive. We're working all these long hours just to pay rent, just to pay our bills. We're exhausted. There are times when I'm burnt out as well. If you had to ask me if I'm happy in my life, I would say no. I'm grateful for what I got, I'm grateful and blessed, but it's been a long time since I've been happy. And I thought about that today. Earlier today, I was thinking, man, when is the last time I've been happy in my life? And it's been a long time. And I have a lot of things to be grateful for, but to be honest with you, I'm not happy. I'm burnt out sometimes. You have a lot of people who are working more than 60 hours a week trying to survive and pay their bills. They're working a job they hate. They can't quit because they got bills to pay. They got responsibilities. This job stresses them out, but they cannot quit. They're burnt out. They never have time for themselves. They're just stuck. And that's a lot of people. And you also got people who are working a good job. They're getting paid very well, but they hate their job. It's a toxic environment. They're making a lot of good money, but they're working more than 9 to 5 because they're on salary. They're working at this job. They're getting taken advantage of. They're getting taken advantage of because they're on salary. So sometimes they're doing 9 to 7, 9 to 8. But they can't quit because they're making good money. Even though they're making good money, they hate this job. This job is unfulfilling. They are not satisfied. They still feel empty. They're like, I went to college. I did what I was supposed to do. Now I got this great job, but I feel so unfulfilled. This isn't doing it for me, but I don't want to quit because I'm making a lot of money. And why would you? But there are people out there who are working a good job, but they hate it. They hate their job. They wake up with anxiety. They wake up depressed, angry, knowing they have to go to this job. They don't have time for them. They don't have any alone time. They have no work-life balance. When they get home, they're so exhausted, they don't even have time to go to the gym if they wanted to. They just come home, eat some junk food, scroll through Instagram, and just knock out and do the same thing all over again tomorrow. They do the same thing the next day. And it's a cycle. With the high cost of living now, with everything going up in price, everybody is just doing what they can to survive. You got people stressed around this time because it's about to be Christmas. You got people stressed because they can't afford all the gifts they want. And that's pretty stressful if you got kids to take care of. You have people who are working all these long hours. They're just working these hours just to pay rent. You have some people who are hardly at their apartment. They're paying an expensive amount of rent, but they're hardly home because they have to work. They have to work these hours to pay their bills. You got some people who are just doing it all on their own. They don't got no family help. They don't got nobody to rely on. It's just them, and it's always been them. They're about to crash out. They're tired of always doing it on their own for so long and not having nobody to have their back. It's tough. They don't know which way is up. You also got people who've had all these plans this year. They wanted to travel, they wanted to do this and that, and they weren't able to do that because of their bills got tied up. Life was lifing for them. The rent went up. They probably bought their first home this year or last year. And the mortgage is expensive. HOA fees, the property tax, all these bills are piling up. This is the first time they bought a home. But when something breaks in the house, they have to fix that on their own. They can't call a landlord. That's their property. So all their money is tied up in this house that they bought. They're house poor. They're in debt. They don't know how to get out of it. They're just burnt out. They're burnt out. They're burnt out with life. You got people who are just very miserable right now. They're miserable and depressed. They're miserable, depressed, and burnt out. Those are the big three. You got a lot of people who are on antidepressants as well. That's not really helping sometimes because you still crash out sometimes. You still have an episode when you're not able to handle everything. And think about the people who are in relationships. You got people who got into a relationship due to survival. They're trying to split bills. They got with someone just to split the bills. They don't like this person that much. They don't love them. But they think it's better just to have this person as a roommate. They're not in love with this person. They're mentally checked out of the relationship. They've been mentally checked out for a while. But they can't leave because they're stuck. They can't afford to live on their own. They don't even love this person. They got a dead bedroom. Every time they come home from work, they are stressed and depressed because they're coming home to someone that they don't like. But they're stuck. If they break up with this person, they got to start their life all over again with nothing. Their credit is probably bad. They probably can't get their own place. They probably need this person to survive, even though they can't stand them. And what about the people who are married right now? Not every marriage you see is a happy marriage. You got people who are in miserable marriages as well. They just got a child, they got kids they got to take care of. A mortgage they're paying for the house. It's all these bills are adding up. They're living on credit. They're in credit card debt that they don't know how they're going to get out of this because they dug themselves in such a deep hole that there's no way out. They got credit card debt. The mortgage is expensive. Childcare, car insurance. They want to have extra money for vacation, but they can't because all the bills are piling up. You got some people who are in marriages right now where they can't stand their spouse. They don't love them. They fell out of love. They're checked out. They're mentally checked out. Once the baby came, it hasn't been the same because one person in the marriage is doing more work than the other person. Taking care of kids it's a lot of work. You guys are both working your stressful jobs, then you guys got to come home and take care of the kids. That's a second job right there. Childcare is expensive. You don't feel like paying that money to put your kids away in childcare. It's expensive. Those bills add up. You got people who are in marriages where they got a dead bedroom. They're not having sex. There's no intimacy. There's no romance. They're basically just roommates. They're trying to stay together because of the kids. Let's wait until the kids are 18. That's 18 years of being unsatisfied. That's 18 years of you being in a marriage that you can't stand. You're not happy. You're stuck with this person because you know you can't afford to divorce. You know that you need this person to survive. There's a lot of marriages like that. I know a lot of us, we like to compare. We see a couple on Instagram, but you don't know what their relationship is like. You got a lot of people who are just getting into relationships because of money too. They say that Men are in love when they get married. Women are in business. So some women may marry a dude just for financial security. They may not love this dude, but they have to do what they have to do to survive. That's life. The economy is getting extremely, extremely bad right now. But the mass layoffs, think about people you've worked at a company for so long. You gave this company 5, 10 years. You were the best employee you could be. They never giving you an opportunity to really like prove yourself and get promoted, and then they lay you off. You probably got laid off this year, and that is tough. And if you went through a layoff this year, I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what you went through, but please keep your head up during these tough times. Better days are ahead of you. But there's people out there who are dealing with these layoffs. They've been laid off. They thought this was the career for them. They thought this was a company that they could see themselves at for a long time. And that door just closed. They got laid off. Now they got to start all over again, looking for another job that probably doesn't pay as much. The benefits are not as good as that previous job, but they have to do what they have to do to survive. They can't be unemployed for too long. Or you may have someone who is unemployed during this time. Even though they're not working, they are burnt out from just applying to 100 jobs. They're applying to so many jobs every single day, trying to get something, applying to jobs they are overqualified for, but they have to do what they have to do. They need to find a job, but still no job is hitting them up. You got people who are on the brink of having a mental breakdown right now during these times. A lot of people are miserable and a lot of people are burnt out right now. And I don't mean to say it in a bad way. It's just, I think so many people are so overworked where their life feels miserable. They went to college. They did what they were supposed to do. They're in student loan debt that they can hardly pay off. They're working a job that they hate. They got to this point in their life and they're like, is this it? I've been working at this company for years and I'm not fulfilled. Is this it? But some people feel that way. They're working a job they hate. Think of the people who don't really get to travel as much because they're living paycheck to paycheck. Even though they may be making a lot of money, you got some people who are living paycheck to paycheck right now. You got a lot of people who are making 6 figures living paycheck to paycheck. But they can't do anything about it. They have bills to pay. And also think about people who are just so tired and exhausted from work that they don't even feel like dating or even getting to know anyone. They'd rather just be by themselves. On the weekend, when you want to use that time to like hang out, they're just resting, chilling. They need a rest because they've been so burnt out throughout. From Monday to Friday, they've been working over 60 hours a week or even more. You got some people working more. You got some people who are working a full-time job doing what they have to do to make money. They make a good amount of money, but still it's not enough. So they get off of that job and you have some people doing Uber just to make extra money. Instead of going home, they go straight to doing Uber Eats or Uber just to make extra money because it's so expensive. Everything is so expensive now. And it's not going to get any better. There's no middle class anymore. It's either upper class or lower class. The middle class is gone. You got a lot of people who are miserable right now because of they got home buyer's regret. They bought their first home and it's expensive keeping up with this house. They're kind of regretting it, thinking like, okay, did I make a good decision buying this home? Because I can hardly afford The mortgage, the property tax, the HOA fees. My AC unit broke. That's expensive right there. That's money I gotta put down on that. When something breaks in that house, when you move into your house, you have so many problems that you need to fix. And sometimes most people don't have that extra money. They don't have that extra cushion. So you have someone who's working, who's living paycheck to paycheck. And when something breaks in that house, they got to spend money they don't have to get that fixed. It's stressful. It's stressful. I just want, man, if you're going through anything, if you guys are going through anything, man, if you've been laid off, you're burnt out with life. I know life is life right now. And I know that everybody is stressed out. Everyone has their own issues. Just please keep your head up. Please keep your head up during these tough times. I'm here for you. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of us were probably dealing with this on our own, especially if you're single and it's just you. I can get how it may feel for you if you're dealing with this by yourself. You don't got anybody to rely on. If you're probably not that close with your family, if you've never been close like that with your family, it's always been you. I get what you're going through, having to always do everything by yourself. I understand, man. This new year coming up, I don't think the economy is going to get any better. It's going to get worse. And I just feel like you can see a lot of people having mental breakdowns with the new year coming up. It's tough, man. Just a lot of people are just miserable and burnt out. They're just working so much. They have no work-life balance. They're burnt out from work, man. And that messes up your mood, that messes up your energy, you know? And there are days you just want to quit. You're like, I want to quit, but I'm making so much money. I'm making a decent amount of income. I'm able to pay my bills, but what else can I do? A lot of us were confused too with trying to, like, if we want to pivot into something else, what can we see ourselves doing? Like, do you want to go back to school even though you're in debt from going to get your bachelor's degree? Like, do you want to go to school again to get a master's degree and just get more debt? That's something that you have to think about, you know? Some people are thinking about that. Like, should I go back to school? Is it even worth it? But the way the economy is, like, what else can I do with my life? Where do I go from here? Take this time to really think, man. Take this time to really think, man. Think about what's something that you want to do that's going to make you happy. If you're working a crappy job, you don't have any other prospects, don't quit this job because the economy is tough, but think of something that you can do on the side that's going to make you happy. What can you do as a creative outlet to get your mind off of all the BS you're going through at work? What's something that you can do? Are there any side projects you want to do that you've never been able to do before? Think about that. And I want to say to the fellas, man, I know a lot of you may feel like you're behind in life. I totally get it. But man, if you're in your early 30s, man, if you're single, you don't got no kids, all you have to do is take care of yourself. You got a decent job. You are golden. All you have to focus on is just striving to make more money. Set some new goals for yourself, and bro, you are golden. I know it's tough. Some of you guys feel like, dang, I thought I'd been married with kids by now, but your path is different. Maybe it's not your time to get married and have a kid and settle down yet, You're in your early 30s, man. You have your life ahead of you. You have so much time. Try to get out of that rut if you're in a rut right now. I'm telling you, man, like I said, man, if you're a single dude, you don't got no kids, all you have to do is take care of yourself. You are golden. I get it, man. You compare yourself to what you see on social media. You may see these people driving fancy cars, going to concerts, traveling. Man, a lot of these people are traveling on credit, man. They're using credit cards. They're traveling broke. I'm like, don't be fooled by what you see on the internet. The internet is not real, man. You got to stop comparing yourself to what you see on the internet. It's not real. You have your own path. Your time's going to come when you're going to be able to travel the world, have fun, enjoy your success. And success may be different to you. Success to you may be you buying a dog, living in a nice townhome by yourself, just taking care of your dog and being able to travel when you can, Success means, it means a lot to different people. Success can mean different things, That may be success to someone. There's another version of success where someone feels like, oh, I got married, I found the right one. Okay, that's success to me. It's going to be different for each person, but you are golden. I know these times are tough right now with everyone being burnt out, but just keep your head up high during these tough times. There are times when I'm burnt out as well. And sometimes I just need to take a break because I'm so used to going to the gym every day. That helps me with going to the gym just helps me clear my head and clear my mind on some things. But sometimes you just need to take a break, sit in silence, and just try to meditate if you can. Just sit in silence with your thoughts and just meditate, man. Just meditate. And you got this. And I just want to say I feel for everyone. I feel for everybody who's going through it this year. You probably outgrew some friendships that weren't really good for you. And that probably hurt you because you thought that this friendship was going to last a long time, and you guys just outgrew each other. But don't worry, man. The right person is going to come into your life, man. I know everyone has had a tough year this year with just work life. If you started a new family, if you got married, or just life is life. And for a lot of people, a lot of people's priorities have changed, But I feel for you, man. If you're miserable right now and burnt out, I get I get the feeling, man. It's like you're working so hard just to survive. And sometimes you feel like you don't have any time for yourself because you're working so much. You don't have time to really just enjoy life. You haven't been able to travel as much as you can because you're just so busy with just trying to pay your bills and all that. And that, that can get to some people, man. But a lot of people are miserable and burnt out. They're overworked due to the economy. And then you got the people who've probably been unemployed for a couple of months due to the layoffs, and they just feel stuck. What can they do? They weren't prepared to get laid off because they didn't have any money saved up. They were living paycheck to paycheck, making decent money, and they just got laid off. They're not in a good headspace because they feel stuck. They need money to survive. They don't have no money coming in. It's tough, but please keep your head up during this time, man. Better days are ahead of you. If no one has ever told you this, man, just know that I love you and you're a good person and good things are going to come to you. If it's just you by yourself, man, you got this. I know it's tough, man. I know a lot of people are alone right now during these tough times. It's hard to deal with this. All this stuff you went through this year, whether it was a family loss, job loss, stress, depression, all this stuff you've dealt with this year, and you've had to deal with this on your own. I get what you're going through, and just know that I'm here for you. I want this podcast to be a safe space for you, a safe space for motivation, venting, and all that, man. I just know that I'm here for you. And I get it, man. Sometimes you get lonely sometimes because it's just you. You don't have nobody. Especially if you probably went through a breakup and now it's just you by yourself. And this is the first time you've been alone for a while. But use this time to get strength. Use this time to grow as a human being. Use this time to grow into the man you are meant to be. Don't let this breakup defeat you. Don't let this job loss defeat you. Don't let this economy defeat you. Do what you can man, to make it work. I know it's tough. I know we're all burnt out, but when you're working so much and you're extremely tired and stressed, sometimes you need a day or two just to be by yourself. If you can, call out of work and rest. On the weekends, you don't got to go to the club and you don't got to drink and get effed up every weekend. Rest on the weekends if you can. Do little work as possible on the weekends when you're off. Take some time for yourself. But everybody is burnt out, man. A lot of people are miserable and burnt out right now. You got a lot of people who are in miserable relationships. You got people who, when I was talking about the marriage and the relationships, man, you got people who, when they drive home, they're just sitting in the parking lot, waiting, dreading the fact that they got to go into this house because they feel trapped. They feel stuck. They hate their relationship. But they got to stay with this person because they need to survive. They can't pay this rent. They can't pay their rent or mortgage by themselves without this person. Or you got one person where they're in a relationship with somebody, right? This person is working, but that person's not doing their part. They probably got laid off. They're not trying to get another job. So that one partner is doing all the work, adding all that stress to that person. And that's not fair to them. I think I've always thought about that. I think a lot of people use dating apps as well as an escape. I feel like a lot of people use dating apps as an escape from whatever they're going through in their personal life. A lot of people use dating apps as an escape. They're using it as they're looking for someone to save them sometimes because their life is so bad. They just want somebody to save them, or they just need an escape for a little bit. That's why dating is the way that it is. But that's it, man. I just wanted to do my late night. Not my late night. It's what is it? I think it's around 3:00 right now, but it's cloudy. Not that much sun is coming into my apartment, but I just wanted to do I just wanted to talk. So yeah. Peace.